What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Shout out to everyone who was in the live stream. That was a lot of fun, you guys. Love that. That's definitely a good morale boost. It picks the mood up every single time. I get nervous. I get nervous for live streams. I really do because I never know like what I'm gonna say. I'm like I want to do it a 2 hour stream, but how long am I going to talk for? How am I going to be able to talk? And we end up going over time every single time. So it's just always a good time. You guys make it easy. I really appreciate you. So just one shout out to the C-Zar Gets Crypto fan, man. Thank you guys all for just being awesome. Here we are at about 2.1 cents right now. right here. 21 hours 14 minutes left. And it is the 26th of April, right? It's a brand new day. We are moving sideways, and what I was talking about in the live stream, I'd like to talk about here as well, is that full disclosure, I would not expect that over the last 2 days that we would be here still, right? I would think that we would continue moving up, and now that it's the weekend, some people brought up I forget who it was, but someone brought up a really good question. Now that it's the weekend, are we going to see a weekend pump, or are we going to see a bear trap? And that's a unique question because there's more than a couple perspectives that this offers, right? So are we going to get away over the weekend and then pull back a little bit during the weekdays and continue to run or whatever? Are we going to get a fake like kind of price during the weekend, and then whenever Monday comes along, are we going to rip back in the other direction? Either of those things are very possible, but if from a low to a high, if we do close this weekend at any point, whether it's today, Saturday, or tomorrow, Sunday, if we close either of these days below 2.018 cents, I would think that we don't just get like a weekend dump and then on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we start to recover. I wouldn't think that. I would think a close below the 236 would lead to prices down at 1.4 cents, okay? Just speaking candidly, speaking honestly, that's what I would think would happen. Also being honest and candid, if OnyxCoin goes down here, I'm going to buy more. I'm going to buy a lot more. I talked about in the live stream how I sold my trading position in OnyxCoin. I bought Cookie Dow with that, right? I actually bought it at just below 13 cents, so we're up a little bit on that. If OnyxCoin drops, I'm going to take my trading position out of Cookie Dow and put it into OnyxCoin. You know what I mean? The largest bag I have is OnyxCoin by far. It's my largest bag. I did not sell a majority. I sold like 2% of what I hold, which is my trading position, and I put it into Cookie just because I see more growth in the short term for this. But I'm not trying to take attention away from OnyxCoin. It wouldn't surprise me in the least, and I didn't know. I didn't know if that was the right move or not. It didn't necessarily feel like the right move because the thing is, OnyxCoin right now, we're in the middle of a breakout move that's supposed to take us to 5.5 cents. The only thing that I was trying to do is up my long-term hold for Cookie. I wanted to put some extra cash in there. I'm not going to be trading it so much. It's more meant to just be held throughout here. But if I see a position at a moment where OnyxCoin is at a little bit more of an affordable price, I would switch that back in there. But I'm spending too much time talking about that for how insignificant it was. I'm just being transparent there. But being here at about 2.1 cents, if we were to drop down to 1.4 cents, that would be the next area that I think we'd find support. Maybe we haven't broken out of this bull flag. Maybe we're in a larger bull flag overall, right? Maybe it's something like this where we're still in this channel. That could be, sometimes we do get these false breaks that lead to like a larger configuration overall. Just because we go lower than these lows doesn't mean that we've busted the pattern. It just means it might not be what we originally thought. And it's totally fine. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. We could go down to 1.4 cents and be totally fine to bounce there, okay? If we're looking at this here, from a relative low here to a relative high there, we tipped the 0.5 and look at the fantastic reaction we had. It's fantastic. It's utterly fantastic. The goal in the next day and 22 hours is to close above this 236 at 2.035 cents. We want to close above there this week. That would be very validating. We don't have to do anything. We can move sideways and be boring the next 2 days. We can go below this line, but as long as we close above it, I'm fine with that. And I will say 1 day below this line is not necessarily enough to get bearish. You could close 1 day below it and then the next day close above it and you're fine. It could be a kind of false signal. That does happen. We need confirmation either direction. But if we do go lower, right? Again, I was just showing this because we bounced right off the 0.5. Look at the reaction we got. This is a much smaller fib, but same kind of idea. If we go lower, the next fib we go to is the 0.5 at 1.43 cents. area of resistance, area of support, area of resistance. I would expect, because we've been respecting the 0.5 all the way down and at various places for OnyxCoin, I'd expect to get an immaculate reaction. And then this is our bull flag, and we break out of that. And if it were, let's just say it were to be our bull flag, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm not saying that I expect this to happen. I'm talking about it in case it does happen. Right now, my expectation based on the charts is we're moving up to 5.5 cents to 5.6 cents, if not by the end of the month, very early May. Okay. But the call is still for it to be by the end of the month. But if we move down to the 0.5, instead of 5.6, 5.5 cents, the target area is now equivalent to this all-time high right here, to this relative high, not all-time high, to that relative high right there. It's very perfect for that kind of movement. So it wouldn't be too far-fetched at all to drop down to 1.4 cents. And again, if we drop down here, I'm not panicking. I'm putting on my bib. I'm getting my fork and knife ready, and I'm ready to eat. I'm going to buy more. I'm going to go heavier into OnyxCoin, right, with whatever capital I have on hand. I had some people who in the live stream, they threw me some super chats and they said, buy OnyxCoin. I have every intention to buy that equivalent in OnyxCoin if it does drop. In fact, I absolutely will. But it's my largest bag right now. You know, I'm not in any hurry. Some people might think, if it's your largest bag and you think it's going to go up higher, why don't you just add to it? If you think it's going to go here, you're so convicted, why don't you add to it? Dude, it's my largest bag. I'm very convicted that it's going to go up there. And sure, if it gets here before anything else that I'm holding moves up, I wish that I put more money in there. But I've learned my lesson, right? You don't marry a coin. You can marry a coin, but don't put everything into it. Have your feelers put out into other things, right? Whatever they might be. You know what I mean? Enough of that though. Here at 2.1 cents now, 4 hour, sorry, I'm losing my voice, 4 hour time frame. All right, I was looking at this as a bullish kind of look because we've broken out. You've clearly broken out of this triangle, right? Clearly, you've broken out of it to the downside without volume. You broke out without any volume, and volume, in fact, has continued to decay as we're moving down. OnyxCoin, if we look at it here, XCN, it's got decent volume still, really decent volume still, but it's at about 10%. This is lower volume than what we normally see. It's a little less than 10%, if I did my math right. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that's easy math right there. A little bit less than 10%. That's pretty low for OnyxCoin, but it is still high overall. So while yes, this isn't significant volume to break out, it could be significant enough to where we could go lower. What we're looking for or not looking for, essentially, again, is to not close. We don't want to close below 2 cents. If tomorrow we go below 2 cents, it's fine, but we want to keep closing above it. Ideally, closing this week above it, okay? And it's very, very possible that within the next 24 hours to 48 hours, we actually see some growth from here, and we do separate from this range. We got overbought on the 4-hour RSI. We're back down here at the 50 at an area that we found resistance at before. We might find support here. We found support there once, found resistance in this area before. We're looking very bullish overall. 1 hour time frame. To be fair, does look a little bit bearish. You're in a bit of a downtrend, and this could imply that over the coming hours to start off this day, or maybe even finish this day, we see some more kind of a retracement from a low to a high. The way that we're wrestling with this fib here, we don't really seem to be respecting it too much, if I'm being honest, but maybe we drop down to 1.9 cents. And again, it's okay to drop down to 1.9 cents. What we don't want to do is close there. We want to go down there and then come back up and then close the day above 2 cents. That's the goal, right? Or just not go down at all, just reverse from here and go up. It wouldn't surprise me. I genuinely wouldn't bat an eye if OnyxCoin, I'd probably bat a couple eyes, let's be fair, but it wouldn't surprise me if we just ripped from here. We really could rip at any single moment. So this is why I think that it's very key to not play with your bags too much. If you do what I do and you're moving your trading position from one coin to another, that's one thing. But if you're if you're moving your investment positions, you're not in a position. I don't think we're in a good position to do that, because it really wouldn't surprise me if tomorrow, if by the end of this week we were to hold 20%, 40% more than that higher than where we are now. It really wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if we move sideways. Anything can happen. And it would surprise me if we saw a lower low at 1.4 cents. But even though that would surprise me, we're prepared for it. We have a game plan for it. We know what to expect afterwards. And it still comes in the form of growth. And inevitably, we're going to see OnyxCoin at prices that are dramatically higher. The expectation is to see OnyxCoin from here go all the way up to at least 15.7 cents, if not at most 32 cents. Somewhere in this area, by the end of June. This is what I'm expecting to happen. Just because I'm expecting it, does that mean it has to happen? No. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I'm pretty positive it's going to happen. It's my largest hold, it's my largest bag for a reason, right? I'm counting on that 26-cent price. But even if we don't get there, if we stop at 15 cents, that's fine. Even if we don't get there, we stop at lower prices, that's fine. I doubt we stop at anything less than 15.7 cents, and I very much doubt that we even stop below 20 cents. I don't think that we settle for anything less than new all-time highs. But time will tell. We'll see how it goes. Ultimately, we're just waiting for OnyxCoin to do what it does best, which is rip to the upside. We've bounced at a very key area in the RSI here, showing that we do want to get into the overbought zone. And I expect that while this is nice, while what we're doing here is nice, when we get into the overbought zone like last time, that's when the good stuff starts to happen. So if this has been fun, if you like that week that we had there, 122%, if you're enjoying this week up 20%, you haven't seen anything yet. Once we get overbought, that's whenever things will really come to play. I expect that we'll have this lower high. Everybody's going to be talking about the bearish divergence, right? All the bears, they cling to every single bit of denial that they can find, right? It's going to zero, no bull flag, whatever, you know, and it is a bull flag. Clearly it is, and it actually broke out to the upside. But then on this is just Binance futures listing. So it's going to be manipulated. It's going to sell. Hint, hint. Everything's manipulated and Bitcoin is on Binance futures listings and look at what it's been doing. Okay, so no, they cling to whatever they can get, right? This is just a short squeeze. Now it's going to resume going down. Whatever they want to do. The reality is there's more people that want to see this thing go down for whatever reason than people that want to see it go up. And coins like that tend to do better than the coins that everybody's expecting to go up right now. Right now, and I can prove it. Go to any of the posts that OnyxCoin makes, that the Onyx DAO makes on their x.com page. The majority of the comments on those posts are negative, not positive. Not let's go, woohoo. It's negative. This thing's going to zero. Your project's a scam. Whenever you see stuff like that on a coin that's clearly not a scam, you can expect it to go in one direction, and that direction is to the upside. But I digress. I'm getting lost in the details. What I'm trying to say is, it wouldn't surprise me if the next thing they cling to when we're at new relative highs is this idea of bearish divergence, which it won't be bearish divergence, by the way. It's not. It's too far away. It's too separate. But you'll see a lower high with a higher high. It'll look intimidating until we keep growing, we keep growing, we keep growing, we keep growing. And that bearish divergence, it wouldn't surprise me, guys, if we topped off. As soon as we top off, it's right whenever we get just above that weekly high in the RSI. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But just prepare yourselves. Looking forward, the next thing that the bears are going to use to validate their notion, whenever they've already been invalidated, is bearish divergence. This thing's going to zero, double top, it's bearish divergence. It's not going to happen. But anyways, we're looking for this thing ideally to close above 2 cents, 2.03 cents by the end of the week. We're looking to keep pushing higher. The idea right now is to move on to 5.5 to 5.6 cents, if not by the end of this month, very early in May, like the first week of May. Consolidate around there, probably like we did here, and then continue on our merry way up to about 20 to 32 cents. I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I am going to pull up some indicators here I just want to look at real quick. My voice really is dying, man. It really, really is. I don't know why. I haven't yelled. I haven't done any screaming. I don't know. I don't feel sick. I just got over a cold. If anything, I think we're good on the daily MACD. I think we're good on the daily stochastics. The RSI is the one thing that gives me a little bit of grief because we're rejecting it, but I have seen a couple coins recently actually reject their overbought and then get into it immediately. So maybe we do. 4-hour time frames aren't going to give us that much. 3-day time frame here. Looking good. I like the 3-day, man. The 3-day really gives me a lot of confidence. Same thing with the stochastics and the RSI. All these give me confidence. So if it's not today, if it's not tomorrow, I'm assuming over the coming weeks, by the end of next week, we'll be sizably higher. By the end of the following week, we'll be sizably higher. By the end of the month of May, we'll be at new relative highs to this. I mean, probably by the end of this month of April, we're going to be at new relative highs than this. We might be pushing on to 10 cents or higher by the end of the month of May. Who knows? But a lot of growth to go. I got nothing else for you guys. I'm just wasting my voice at this point. High to low. Yeah, look at that, dude. We're so constructive. So constructive, yes. Finding support at the 1414 coming up. Finding support at the 1886 now. The next target area would be the 2618, and our bull flag measure move, relatively speaking, is just above there. So wouldn't surprise me at all if this is the area that we go to next. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.